kind of feeling really awkward and weird here because I am the only one who is not from Romania. Well, that's okay, I guess. Okay, now, thanks to the team for inviting me over anyway. Now, I wanted to talk about my very simple philosophy, that is, all that happens for the good. Now, before everyone here understands why I chose this as a topic, I'll just go into a simple technology or an idea which has brought me to what I am today. Okay? So I'll just start off by giving a couple of small introduction to what is it that we are doing. Okay. Before that, I would just wanted to read that because I tend to get that happening when I'm meeting. Because I usually give technical talks and I'm not so great in giving a non-technical talk. So I tend to go blank at times. And just a warning, I tend to crack jokes when I'm nervous. Okay? Yeah. Now, I guess somebody's already mentioned this here, but in a way which I don't find really interesting, but that is a great one. Carbon footprint is something which is, I'm thinking in a larger scale. So carbon footprint is anything that you do, be it traveling, be it running your AC, running your heater, whatever it is, anything that you do, if it is a cost directly or indirectly, if it is a cost for emission of carbon dioxide, that's a carbon footprint. Now, given a small comparison about what you can understand. So, for petrol, 1 liter usage, that is, if you drive a car which consumes 1 liter of petrol for, let's say, I don't know, in India, will probably be 20 kilometers, given the condition of the cars. You would be having a footprint of 2.3 kg. Okay, so you can see a comparison here about what is the carbon footprint, a generic idea. Now, I've given a small power production chart of US, frankly because I don't get one of the world, which shows the forms of production of electricity, form of generation of electricity in the world. Now, there is almost 75% of it is from means which directly produce carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases, be it thermal form, be it natural gases, all kinds of stuff. And so what I wanted to convey by showing this is, when you waste 1 watt of electricity, when you waste something as little as 1 watt of electricity, you're directly contributing 75% of that is being contributed from your side, is being given out as a carbon footprint. Or basically, whatever you waste, a huge margin of that is a responsibility from your side. It's actually like you are wasting that much part of your, what do you call it? How do you put it? The carbon footprint is a huge factor. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Yeah. I know. I expected more kids to be here, but that's okay. Now, there is a concept called phantom power, which is like, whenever I go and give a talk about this, people usually say that, hey, dude, I switch off everything. We Indians always, I don't know. After hearing a speech, I don't feel like telling much about Indians because of a good speech which was given before. Well, what we do is, we generally say that, yeah, I turn off the computers. I turn off the TVs. I do that, I do this. But there is something called phantom power. It's also called standby power, vampire power, blah, 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 so many things. But basically the concept is something that unless and until you switch off the switch or you unplug the device from the electrical supply, it still consumes power. It still consumes power. I know it is pretty hard to believe, but yeah, it is verified by us. Experimentally it is verified and it's a very open cost. Okay, and usually it's a very small value, 2 to 15 watts. So who cares? Like 2 to 15 watts shouldn't be a problem anywhere. Or let's say that again. Now, if I take, you can see a chart there which shows 100 watts. There's 100% of the electricity losses. I'm not talking about electricity usage or consumption. I'm talking about loss in the world. Now, out of 100% of the loss, nearly 51% of the electrical energy loss is due to this small phantom power. Now, pretty shocking, I know. Almost 38% of that 50%, which is the green one, is due to computers. You shut down your computer and you think, hey, I'm done. It's over. I'm saving power. But no, you're not. Plain fact, you're not. Okay, now you got to see that, yes, this is there. I'm not saving that much power. Let's see what else. So what I've just shown is a computer usually uses somewhere around 100 watts, or it's much more than that. In India, the computers usually take much more power than a supercomputer by IBM. Not because of its capability, but because of the other stuff which is there inside that. Okay, so we have a chart which shows that I've taken only 7 to 16 watts. I've taken it as 10. Now, a company in India or in Romania or in any place in the world, a normal and average size company would have a bare minimum of 1,000 computers. Now, if you shut down those 1,000 computers every night, please understand that you're wasting 10,000 watts per hour. Now that is not small, right? I'm talking about a value for a bare minimum number of computers. And everybody turns off the computer, but I'm pretty sure that nobody turns off the switch. And especially in a corporate, you can't without, causing serious damage to some things. So you waste 10,000 watts every single hour for 1,000 computers alone. Okay. Just a comparison. Now take an ideal condition when which you have a company which is 100% perfect. All employees turn off their computer when they go, they turn off their monitor when they go for lunch. A sweet company, but fixtures in the dreams. Still, the wasted power is 16 watts. Okay? Now, I've taken an actual scenario. This is an estimate which is given by the Lawrence and Berkeley National Labs in, I don't know where. It's a famous university. They've shown that they've given us statistics in which they say that almost 60% of the computers, 60% of the employees turn off only their monitor, then some people do that. They've given us statistics. We have taken a very conservative figure from this, and I've drawn a ring chart of the entire thing. So you can see that almost 32% is lost. Okay? I know pretty hard to believe, and a lot of people might even think I'm exaggerating, but trust me, these are all on the internet. Pretty easy to figure out. So I've shown a power comparison chart. Just to clarify, Spara is actually a product of our company. I have copied this slide from my corporate presentation. Don't tell anyone in India. So because of that, I've shown a flow. What is the power consumption which is happening? All these are in terms of losses, not in consumption. Please understand that. Okay, all these are in losses. Okay. Now, a very interesting question. What if they don't turn off the computer at all? I talked the whole story here that was about you turn off your computer and then there's a phantom power which is 1,000 computers long and blah blah blah. They're talking like so much. Now, what if they don't turn it at all? They don't turn it off. In a company in India, I don't know about Romania because I just came here yesterday night. When they don't turn it off, there is no question of phantom power because the system is still running. So I guess the entire set is a phantom power. Now the question which came to me also was the same thing. Now if in a company nobody turns it off, if they don't turn it off, then what's the whole point of developing a device which can cut down or which can save the so-called phantom power? So that is where we decided to go for AI, artificial intelligence. Now usually the moment I usually have technical talks, I usually present to technical people. So when I do that, technical in the sense, really higher technical. So when I go to some colleges or schools and if I do give a talk about this, it actually did happen. One guy stood up and said, "Nelvin, your company makes Terminators?" And I was like, "What?" They're like, "Do you make robots that is like humans?" Yeah, seriously, we don't. Okay, just to be clear about that, we don't. We try to bring the concept of AI. AI is nothing but the capability of a machine to think and act like humans. Okay, not humans. That would be pretty dumb. Somewhat like humans. Okay? Now, we try to use that to save power. Interesting question because that made us a very weird combination. We are one of the only company in the world which is having its domain as artificial intelligence and which is working in the clean tech industry. You don't see a relation. But I can actually show you that. The caption which is given below, let us think about it. No. Let them, that is the computers, think about it. How to save power. That is the concept which we are talking about. Okay. Now, sorry about the caption. I didn't get a good proverb to add to that. So I just call it whatever you want. That's better. Okay, so the concept is, if you have a company which has 1,000 employees, I don't think you can get 1,000 people who are exactly alike unless and until cloning is permitted here. So you get 1,000 different people, totally different people, who feel hungry at a very different time, who want to go have a break at a different time, who go home at a different time. Lot of things, all different. In India, definitely different. Trust me. Because I come to office at 11 o'clock, because I get up at 10:30. Now that's not a good thing. Still. There are people who come to office at 9 o'clock. Yay, good thing for me. I mean, people who work in my office. There are people who leave at 5 o'clock. There are people like me who leave at night, 3 o'clock. So it's very different. It's very different. So you can't expect a software to be made which will cater to all those needs very correctly. You cannot. Otherwise, very incredible approach, a very impressive approach would be to call all 1,000 of them, write a software for each one of them, which is not a good idea again. Now what we do is, we install a single software which is broadcasted to every single machine in the network. It resides in your system for 15 days and it studies what you're doing. Studies in the sense, when do you switch on your machine? When do you take a break? I mean, you don't have to say that, computer, I'm taking a break. No, it understands because nobody's using a computer at that time. So it understands when you're taking a break, how much time are you taking a break, and what is the trend, or what is the pattern in that. It studies you for 15 days. On the 16th day, it creates a power profile for you which matches you. So suppose I am somebody who feels hungry at somewhere around 12 to 2 or 12 to 1. And for 15 days I go somewhere, anywhere between this time. And on the 16th day, I leave the office at 1:30. Okay, I said 12 to 1, right? Okay, 12:30. The system understands that, yes, that guy has gone for lunch. Now, just like a person, like if I had an assistant who was sitting behind me, watching me every day, if I get up and go at that time, it is easy for him to predict that, yes, he has gone for lunch. So it's okay if I hibernate or if I, turn off his monitor right now. It is okay. The exact same thing is done here. That is a part, gather information is collecting the part. Think about this, what we do on every day after the 15th. Try it. You try it on the 16th day. There might be errors. See, computers, humans, all are errors. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. All do make mistakes. Okay, try it. What happens is, there is a chance that one fine day, you could go on a diet. Like I have been trying for the past 5 years. Always possible. And then after 2 days, you can still quit, which I always do. You still improve on that. That is a good point. And what we have been able to achieve is, we have been able to achieve an efficiency over 90% in saving the power. That is what we have been able to achieve. Now, including the thinking part, I've given a chart which I've shown a green section, which is a negligence. The negligence section is nothing but the energy saved because of this negligence from the employees, where they don't turn off and we kick in and we move in to turn it off for them. Okay? Now, this is this scenario, how this works, but I'm not sure whether how many of you sitting here would be interested in this. This is actually a way in which the central console is communicating with the end machines to save power when this machine is in network. It is connected to the network. This is central machine, the so-called server, client, architecture, and blah 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 blah, all these things. So it actually saves power. End of story. Next one. Continuation of the story. If network is not there, the guy still thinks by himself and does it. Now I don't know why I put this here, but that's fine. Maybe because I found all that moving things interesting. It's okay. So what I've shown there is something called as a local loop. That is the AI section, which it by itself thinks on what to do, and based on that it does it. So the advantage being, you can install it on your laptop, you can install it wherever you want. Okay. Now the biggest question was, we saved it in the corporates. Great, yay. Now what about home? Now all of you are using systems in home. This is a chart which I don't want to give values because it would be pretty shocking to people if I state the values here. A CPU takes around 70 watts. Okay, I'm not talking about thin clients, I'm talking about normal desktops that people use at home. It takes around 70 watts. TFT or an LCD monitor takes around 30 watts, 30 to 35 watts. A CRT takes around 60 watts. A printer on standby, you're not printing, trust me, when printing it takes over 1000 watts, a laser printer. But in standby, a printer takes around 30 to 35 watts. Imagine your printer is kept on every single day. You're not printing, trust me. And a whole day, do you print 24/7? Unless and until you have a photocopy shop. No, we actually do that, but that's okay. But a printer is kept on and you're wasting 35 watts. Okay? A speaker, small things that produce sound, right? Most of you here would have an amplified speaker with them, which is nothing but a 2.1 speaker with a subwoofer. Yeah, play this sound, no lights. So power, they are saying the power. No, the amplifier is still running. It takes over 25 watts when no sound is played on it. And when sound is being played on it, techies would agree with me the fact that it would vary. But the bare minimum is 25 watts. Now when you are working on your MS Word, unless until you have something plugged in your ears and listening to music, or you are a music lover, why do you need your speakers on? But do you ever turn it off? No. Scanner, again, it's okay. Takes pretty much less, 4 or 5 watts. But what I'm trying to say is the printer, scanner and the speakers need not be on, but we still keep it on. Imagine the amount of energy which is being wasted from your own home. So we are working on this also at the same time. Now, I talked about the small amount of energy which we are trying to save, right? A very small amount of energy. So 1000 computers. I wanted to find out how many computers are there in the world, and I was doing a Google search, like in internet. Doing a Google search, I typed the question, how many computers are there on Earth? And I got a site, I clicked and it said, want to know how many computers are there on the site? And the word, that was the question, that was the caption. I was like, whoa, cool, direct answer. Clicked it, and it said, do you even know how many people are there on Earth? That was the question it asked me back. And I was like, wow, okay. Billion? I was like, I had never thought of that. I said, okay, maybe a billion, that would be it. And yeah, that is India's population. So 1000 is a very, very small value. Now for 1000 computers, if you do this, you are actually taking out 5000 cars off the road every year. That is the equivalent in carbon dioxide you are conserving. This is not made by me. This particular values, this entire thing is not made by me. I don't make it, I don't write it down, I don't do any calculation. It is from various sites on the internet which give the same thing. Only thing is it gives for 10,000 computers. I have cut zeros everywhere. So for 1000 it is 5000. I didn't want to go with the elaborate numbers of 10,000. I wanted to stay with small amount. Enough energy to run a small town in India, okay? Because power cuts is something which we are quite used to. Reduce carbon footprint by over 35% and prevent the release of over 40,000 cubic meters of CO2. Thank you.